I heard about the Health and Wellbeing event through my specialist nurse. I was talking to her about all the symptoms I had, like fatigue, chemo brain, forgetting things, tiredness, and she advised that there was an event going on, Health and Wellbeing event, and where they talk about these subjects and talk about how to get the best of them and how it could be relevant to me.
One of the things about the diagnosis of cancer, you do feel, as I'm sure many people have said, you do feel very lonely, and you also get a lot of fatigue, and all the emphasis in the hospital is about treating the condition, and everyone keeps saying you must be positive. Well, for me, positive means having information so that I know what to cope with. I was invited by Lucy Brooks to come along to a wellbeing event, and I took my wife as well, and it was just amazing that we were able to relate to what people were saying. My wife felt that she was able to talk to other wives and partners and discuss how she was feeling as well, and we found it a really useful time.
After my diagnosis, I was given an appointment to go and see the clinical nurses, and it was during that appointment that I was given the option of actually going to see Empower. I decided to take up that option because really I needed more information. After my diagnosis, it is a case of whatever information one can actually get. Then you can make a more informed decision.
I was grateful to be invited along with Earl because as a partner you tend to seem to get left out. Everything is concentrated on the patient, but you're the support system, you're the wife, you're the mother, and you need to know as well to be able to support them the best way you can. My going to Empower I found really empowering, really, because it gave me the knowledge and information that I needed to be able to help to support Earl. I found it really useful and very helpful.
I found it really, really good, really helpful, because I was in a bit of a dark place at the time and it really lifted me.
I think Empower got rid of all the myths that you're told. Once you get a cancer diagnosis, everybody's coming in with every bit of this, that, the other, and half of the stuff you get told is really irrelevant. And Empower helps to disperse all those myths and actually gives you the true facts about, and it helps you to decide about your diet, the best way that you can help yourself. So Empower helps give you the tools to help yourself.
The doctors and the nurses talking about, what the side effects, that was really useful because I understood I wasn't alone, and many people were going through the same thing that I was going through.
I learnt about the alternative therapies, and I went on a session of massaging my feet, can't remember what that's called, but reflexology. And my wife went on it as well, and we learned how to, it helped us to relax and cope better with our life. And also I met a dietitian. From hearing about the wellbeing event to meeting these people has had a dramatic effect on how I was feeling at the end of a couple of months.
I'm really glad that I did go to Empower because most of my fears were actually addressed. It just really made me more comfortable.
When you're diagnosed with any form of cancer, it apart from the physical impact, it has a mental impact, and so that makes it a very solitary, sort of lonely disease in a way, because no one can understand what the whole impact is. So the first thing that happens when you go to Empower is that latent fear, I suppose is maybe it's the wrong word, but that sort of feeling that sort of anxiety is relieved immediately, because firstly you're going into an area with people that have been diagnosed with a similar disease.
There was about 6 people and we all went in as strangers, and by the end of the 6 weeks we were firm friends and we've met up since on our own. And it just shows you that you think you've got your own problems, but everyone's got a very similar problem, and it was a little bit upsetting to hear their journey, but it was the same for me, and so that gave me a bit of comfort that I could sort of take from their experience what they were going through, and what I was going through, I wasn't alone. What I did like about it, I liked the topic on communication, because my husband is not very communicative, and he was putting his head in the sand with my diagnosis. So I went and shared that, and it turns out that everyone else had very similar issues with their partners or their family, and when we talked it through, it was good, because we had ways to go, and I was told different ways to sort of approach him and how to talk to him, and it worked.
Going so quickly after diagnosis to Empower really helped.
Now, if someone said to me, come to Health and Wellbeing event, I probably wouldn't have come, because what does that mean? It's just a generic word, sentence. So for me, with someone saying to me, look, we can look at this together, they'll talk about this, for me, that's absolutely what happened, and I would highly recommend, because you can get so much out of the event.
I would say go along, because it opens your eyes and it really does help.
I would definitely recommend it, because when you're diagnosed, it's like you're bombarded with information, and by the time you actually get to see Empower, it's roughly a week or so after your diagnosis, and whatever questions that you have by then, Empower are able to answer. Because at the time when you're diagnosed, it's like you've got so many things going through your head at the time, the questions are just not there. But within a week or so, you've had a chance to let it sink in, and you're actually seeing someone who is in a position to answer your questions.
I would say grab it. It gave me the opportunity to ask questions. It wasn't just for Earl, it was also for me. I got a lot from it, and I would hope that you would get a lot from it too.
I would say definitely go.
Oh, you've got to do it. Everyone's got to do it, because it just gives you the hope.
I would absolutely 100% recommend to go.